What's up, Vikings Nation? We're almost to 1,000 subs and we're trying to get it before July 4th. We're only 57 away. You can help me right now and subscribe to help me reach that goal. So today we learned from Kevin O'Connell that the Minnesota Vikings will be holding not one, but two joint practices this upcoming preseason, or basically right before preseason. And the teams are kind of cool. Last year we had a joint practice with the 49ers. We talked about the brawl that broke out and stuff like that. It's a good time. It's a good learning time to see where players are at, more like they go full speed or not 100% full speed, but they're about 75, 80% kind of going. And this kind of gives them the coaches a chance to really see where these guys fit in the scheme. Do they have the ability to be a starter? Are they a backup? What's kind of the case going forward? So we're having two joint practices this year. Craig Peters kind of laid it out on Vikings.com, where he said, Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell decided the joint practices with the 49ers in 2022 were so beneficial that he's doubling down on the approach in 2023. O'Connell on Tuesday announced the Vikings will host joint practices with the Tennessee Titans ahead of the Minnesota-Tennessee game in Week 2 of the preseason, which the game is scheduled for 7 p.m. on August 19th. And a separate session of practices with the Cardinals will be held before Minnesota closes the preseason by hosting Arizona, which this game is scheduled for noon on August 26th. I really like that because if you don't know, this year we actually go from 93 players to 53 players on one day. It's not like, after every preseason game, they usually cut about 10, 15 people or something like that. That ain't the case anymore. Everyone can stay on the team. There'll probably be some cuts here and there, but usually now there'll be the last or at the end of preseason. That's when all the cuts are going to happen. So these joint practices are going to be a phenomenal indicator of whether or not we're going to have somebody on our team or if they're going to have to, say bye-bye. So here's kind of what Kevin O'Connell said. He said, we're really excited to let you guys know that we'll be hosting joint practices not just one time this year, but twice. It will give us a tremendous opportunity to have 4+ days of really good competition. He said, I know both Titans coach Mike Vrabel and Cardinals coach Jonathan Gannon. Both of those guys I have a personal relationships with. I know what kind of leaders they are and what kind of teams they'll be bringing here, ready to make sure we get some great work. Now, O'Connell said the takeaways from the practices with the 49ers, which featured intense competition but in a controlled environment under certain parameters, impacted his decision to opt for hosting both teams this year. He said, I think back to that week of work, and we learned a lot about our football team that week. Everybody knew what type of team would be coming in from a competition standpoint. There are a few coaches in this league that I have the amount of respect for that I have for 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan. I knew what we were getting from that organization coming in here. It was very competitive. He finishes up with saying that it should push the line sometimes. But if guys are truly preparing for week 1 of the regular season, they know how important that work is. We were really able to get 2 great days of work that really helped our team. So with the spirit of knowing what our football team got out of that, I was really excited to get to line up 2 organizations with 2 great coaches that really have that kind of alignment of hopefully what we're trying to get done day in and day out while we're here to maximize it for both teams. So joint practices, I like them, but you have to kind of weigh the pros and cons. The pros are you're going to get to figure out who's going to be where, who's playing where, how much progression or how much have these guys progressed throughout, OTAs, rookie minicamp, training camp, and stuff like that, and who's actually going to make the 53-man roster. The cons are you got to kind of pick and choose who you want to play on the team versus team or the full, 11-on-11 scrimmages and stuff like that, because you don't want injuries to happen. And these things do get very competitive, so you probably keep that down at least a short time length for most of the starters and stuff like that. But this is really a great time to see where your team is at so far during the preseason and moving forward. You guys can let me know in the comments what you think about this. Also, drop a like and, hey, subscribe to the channel. It would be much, much appreciated. Have a great rest of your day, folks, and Skol Vikes.